Distinguished colleagues, ladies and gentlemen, we are talking at a time when the mention of Africa in the world represents something else. We are gathered here at a time when the mention of Africa in this world, wherever there is talk of problems, the African continent features prominently. We are a continent that is almost synonymous to problems. We're a continent that is almost synonymous to problems. When you talk of mothers bearing their kids before they reach the age of 5, Africa pops up. When you talk of 257 million people going to bed hungry, Africa pops up. Why? It is unacceptable that in 2019, we are talking about 257 million citizens going to bed with their stomach aching of hunger. Unacceptable. In 2019, that we are talking of a continent where we have 12 million youth graduating into the labor market each and every year and competing with only 3 million jobs. And some of them in search of greener pastures, elusive greener pastures, are risking their dignity, are risking their lives in search of these elusive greener pastures, and others luring themselves into a life of crime for paltry sums of money. And worst of all, climate change. That is already redefining the contours of this continent more dramatically than any other. When you talk of what is already happening, visible to our eyes, whether it is the cyclones that recently affected Zimbabwe, Mozambique and Malawi, or the droughts, that even Kenya is already feeling the impact of it, to the Sahel, where millions are already feeling the impact of drought. The continent of Africa, with a changing climate, disproportionately affecting mostly poor people, is reversing the economic gains that have been made over the past decades. Distinguished colleagues, ladies and gentlemen, these challenges, amongst many, tell us one thing. They tell us that the level of deprivation of our people is unacceptable under any standards. And we should not anywhere discuss these issues as if they're just there for us to talk about them. We must talk about them in realistic terms towards how we can be able to drive action, and more so meaningful action,